Since I'm in AP, I had to choose one theme for the entire year, which is relationships. And the only challenge that I've really been struggling with is consistently sticking to that theme.
My theme for this quarter is the phases of growing up and like the excitement and also fear it brings. And I really chose it because we're all going through it right now with graduation and stuff like that. So I think everyone needed something to connect and relate to.
My chosen theme this year has been focusing on how I can visually depict living with chronic illness. I've always found it really difficult to express my pain through words. So I've been using this year as kind of like my own therapy to kind of like express how I'm feeling through my art. So it's been a really amazing process to share my experience with others in a more creative way.
This year, I really focused on childhood and nostalgia, bringing all that in, especially it being senior year. It's kind of like a goodbye to high school and a goodbye to that childhood sort of feeling. It's been really fun creating a very cohesive body of work that all fits together because it keeps you in guidelines, so you don't know what you're gonna do, but you know what it has to match up with, and that helps definitely.
To think about the logistics of the worlds I create and how they would all intertwine and interact.
So my chosen theme for this year that I've been focused on the entirety of my senior year is fixation of the teenage mind. And that has entailed for me making works based on my experience as a teenager and the things that I found important to speak and put commentary on. And really focusing my mindset on that this year has taught me to try to look back at myself in the kindest of lights. It has also taught me, as much as I want to go on to other ideas, really learning that attribute of focus has helped me become a better artist, both in personality and practice.
Most of the work that I started originally working on was all the stuff in freshman year, just experimenting with stuff. I grew to really like oil paints though when we were working on that a lot, but I was able to work on oils for my artist matrix, which I realized was a lot of more so abstract and a little bit of 3D work within it, so it was textured.
My theme for the first quarter of the semester was music and art. I have synesthesia, and I was using that to create a sort of narrative with music. My idea was to take the images that I see with my synesthesia and the narrative of the music and sort of put them together to create an image that I thought helped make the music come alive. Each piece had sort of a different music song to go with it.
Through my senior year, I went with the theme of paleontology because I'm going into college for vertebrate paleontology. So throughout my senior year, I worked with paleoreconstruction, which is reconstructing from the bones of prehistoric animals to figure out what they would have looked like now at a scientific basis of understanding. And throughout my senior year, I've really learned that you really gotta hone in on what you know about the thing you really focus with in your art, so you can learn what is just really working for you and not worry about what others are gonna think and what you think you should do.
It's been very positive. I learned how to work in teams and how to take criticism. I also learned how to come out of my shell and make friends.
Challenging, I think, to say the least, is my experience. It's a lot of transforming from being a child to straight up adulthood. There's not really much of a transition period that you have to get used to.
My experience here has really gotten me to break out of my shell as an artist, because for a while I thought, oh, I'm a digital science fiction artist, that's what I do and that's only what I'm gonna do. But really this has gotten me to think of the transferable skills from doing completely different mediums and completely different subject matter, but also it's getting me to have fun with art.
For me, it was very helpful having that traditional teaching background has been really helpful in me developing my artwork. Like I thought I was good before I came here, but now I feel like I can actually say that I am, and it's thanks to the stuff that I've learned here.
I've enjoyed it. I think it was really hard the first 2 years, especially our first year being online, and that was like, it didn't feel real. It was kind of strange, but I really enjoyed it, and I think you kind of have to go through that struggle of freshman and sophomore year and kind of go through not liking it and like not loving the assignments and not loving, you know, you're being put in kind of like a box of do this, but after that, it really shows that they were building you up to a certain goal, and all that work that you kind of hated in the beginning was worth it at the end.
It's been difficult, not only because of the work, but also, I mean, along with all of that, you're still figuring out who you are, and kind of fitting that into everything that we're doing, and balancing that is difficult, but once you find it, it is significantly easier to go through all of that.
It's up and down. It's since freshman year up till now, it's been stressful, yes, but like that's part of the process. I learned to take criticism because it's very difficult taking criticism for especially art when you're passionate about it too. No matter like how much I think I might get right, there might still be other things that I still need to work on as well.
My experience at Charter Arts has been both like challenging and also very helpful when it comes to like developing my art. Being able to receive critique has been very helpful because it helps me improve my work.
You learn a lot and you go through a lot of experiences, and a lot of them are frustrating, but I feel like that's good for you when going through something like this because it pushes you, because in a field like that you're kind of in a tough situation where there's a lot of rejection. So
it's been tough. Like I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. It's been hard at some points, but I'm not gonna say I like regret it. If I had to choose between like normal school and then this school, I would definitely come here like again and again. In some parts it's been easy. Like I do like that like the core classes are kind of secondary to art.
My experience has been very good and bad. I've had mixed experiences, but I think that the teachers taught me many things that have helped me grow exponentially as an artist.
My favorite art movement is the post-impressionists, so that includes like Van Gogh, Monet, and especially their use of color and how their subject tends to focus on just actual people in the world.
I don't really have any specific artists as motivations. I just use the world around me. Like I'll see a cool plant and then I'll look up what kind of plant and maybe it'll go on my next piece.
One of my biggest inspirations as an artist was Rosemary Wells, who is a children's book illustrator. She did Max and Ruby and things like that, and I'm really inspired by children's book illustrators because I would like to make my own someday.
Some of my inspirations are Alphonse Mucha. He is part of the Art Nouveau movement, and just his structures, compositions, and how he depicts color in most of his works really inspired me.
So one of my biggest inspirations is my great-grandfather. He was an artist. He did mostly graphic novels, and I never got to meet him, but his artwork was always around my family's houses, my grandparents' houses, and it was something where ever since I was little, I would look at his artwork and be like, I want to do that someday. I want to have my artwork on someone's wall. I want to be able to share that with someone.
So 2 artists that I like to follow a lot, their names are Matthew Sorgi and Jackie Lynn, and they have posted their progress online, just like me as a high schooler trying to go through their AP portfolio. So kind of seeing the art that they can make and seeing their journeys that are very similar to mine, it's something very motivating. It gives me a standard to meet up with. It gives me a bar to kind of go past and to be better than. It's very motivating to me.
My artistic inspiration, the go-to, is probably John Singer Sargent, which is a big name for our teachers too, but I love the way he uses colors and the way that his brush strokes are still visible, like the way he uses his brush textures really helps motivate me, and it's kind of what I want to lean into.
More in general, like the show, when the show Prehistoric Planet came out on Apple, it's like that was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And like especially when that came out, I was like really on a roll, like drawing like whatever I wanted.
I just kind of like almost everything. I like really hyper stylized sort of anime stuff, but I also like more surreal, abstract work like Ivan Seal. He makes some neat stuff. So I'm just happy to look at work that's just cool.
My biggest advice for future students here would be keep a sketchbook with you everywhere you go. Seeing anything around the world that has like inspiration, it will help you to like write it down right away or draw it or sketch something.
The advice I'd give is to draw everything, like no matter what your favorite medium is, no matter what your favorite subject is, just draw all the time, no matter what inspires you.
I would say not to be too harsh on themselves, because when I was younger, I always had a very high standard of perfection. But as I've gotten older, I've realized as long as you're trying to improve and you're making significant improvements each time, that's enough.
Learn how to time manage, especially if you're an AP and you need to work on multiple pieces at once, and to give yourself the appropriate amount of time to work on processes.
It's a lot of work. It can be hard to maintain your passion with balancing the fact that it is work and it's a lot, but trying to find that balance, if you find that, then you'll find like the sweet spot and you'll do great things.
Do your best, listen to the feedback that you're given, and keep doing what you're doing.
I think my main advice is you keep all of your stuff, keep all the pictures of your art, keep all of your art, keep it organized as you can, because we use it in senior year, and that was a huge struggle trying to find everything. I kind of crumpled up and trashed, but keep it all.
My advice would be to stay focused. There's going to be a lot of distractions, you know, you being a teenager, you being a high school student, but to really find the time and space to complete your artwork and to really set yourself the goal of improving.
Definitely look to teachers for criticism as well as your peers. That's really important. Even if you don't want to, it's super helpful in the long run.
It's not the end of the world if you mess up on something. Like, I've had a lot of paintings that I've messed up on that I've cried over, but you get over it pretty quick.
I think the advice I would give them is to really pay attention in the classes that they're taking, because it'll help you in the long run, and all those lessons that you're learning right now will help you guys grow as an artist.
Don't procrastinate, especially during my sophomore year and like the beginning of my junior year was so bad. Like if I did the thing on time, it was like so much better.
It's okay to do what you like to do. And, you know, there's no such thing as like real and fake art.
Listen to the teachers. My first few years, I never listened to the teachers, and my work was quite rough those first few years. But really in my senior year, I've taken the advice of the teachers in the art room, and my work has really exceeded in the past few months because I've taken the advice of teachers like that.
I guess being able to kind of like plan my own process and kind of like organize everything, it's been able to form like a better flow.
I've really streamlined my process. I've really gotten it fast. I've gotten it down to like what I need to do without having the like fluff and filler that wasn't really necessary.
My artistic practice has grown during my senior year, mostly by learning how to streamline my process and make it so that I can get a lot of quality work done in a relatively short amount of time, which ultimately for me leads to more growth between pieces.
I would say because I've been making a lot of personal work that I enjoy, I've also been able to push myself to try new things and the motivation stays because I know that I will enjoy making it.
I watch my artistic practice grow fast in some bursts and like slow in the other. It's honestly all about motivation and finding things to motivate you.
It's grown a lot. If you look at my work from the beginning to now, it's like a completely different person.
I have definitely improved significantly, and I'm better than I've ever been before.
To be honest, I was not a very good student for my first few years here. COVID really messed up my freshman year. As I kept growing and learning, I decided to get myself together and focus in on getting my stuff done on time. It really helped.
It has grown in the sense that I put a lot more planning and development into my work.
It has grown a lot. When I was in like sophomore and freshman year, I didn't really do my work and I just did it really sloppily. So this year I really put my mind and energy into my work, and I feel like I've grown so much and my work has shown the growth that I've taken.
In all my other years, I had like a very set process, but this year I'm like going all over the place. I start a piece and then I don't really have like a final set in mind. I just kind of go with the flow. And this year I'm constantly exploring different mediums because it's just fun. Like I've just learned to find the fun in it.
What I've learned here at Charter Arts will help me in my future endeavors, especially with going to an art college, because it's going to give me a head start in what we're already going to be learning and the material we're going to be doing, and even some of the activities we're going to be doing.
The main one was being able to take and give criticism. It's a very important thing to know when to take advice seriously and not take it personally. As I move on to a professional field, I'll be able to take advice without having personal feelings about it.
They will definitely help me with pricing myself and really putting myself out there.
Actually, we're learning about costing our art right now, which is amazing because I don't know how to do that at all. I'm so grateful for like my art professors to just keep on pushing us.
I plan to go to college for visual arts, so I think I'm going to be super prepared because I've kind of already gone through the process of how they do it in college. We're having like long studio hours and having specific projects. Like I think I'm going to be really prepared instead of going from like a normal public school setting where you just kind of like do whatever you want. Like I know how to work within a structured system.
I mean, I'm personally not going into an art major, but I think I'll always have a creative mind and I'll always sort of think differently than some others. It helps me in daily life and I can always pick up a pencil and draw.
So I, like many in my class, I'm not going into an art field, but I think something that I will definitely be taking with me is the ability to take critique and removing yourself from your artwork.
I still want to continue art. I'm not going to leave it behind completely. Mostly just like commissions I want to do, and I definitely feel like the things we're learning now about putting your piece together, managing your time, will definitely help me price my work, get my work out there, get people to recognize it, and just overall to help me like enjoy doing my work and seeing the process of how I do my work and how that's improved.
It'll definitely help me learn how to manage my time better and how to pretty much price my work. It'll pretty much help me figure out how to time manage my life.
What I plan to do after I finish high school is go to college and study architecture. And I think that this school has really helped a lot with like the study of architecture, especially analytical drawings. When I had gone to a pre-college program, most of the stuff that they taught me there was stuff we had already learned here.
I think it will help me manage my time better, and I feel like everything I've learned throughout these years have really helped me grow as an artist.
Part of the thing that will help you with your future endeavors from Charter Arts is the portfolio of work that you'll come out of this school with. Your senior year, you're making a really divine portfolio of your own work. And by the time you get out of school, if you're pursuing a field of art in the future, like I'm pursuing paleo art, the portfolio that you're going to have from this school is going to be something that's really something to look at for every school or college to see, and it's really going to be enticing for them to have you after.